So you want to know why Lachlan Heussler is so hectic? Well, in this episode, I am going to reveal why he is our member of the month for February. First member of the month since we have kicked it off again. And he is an inspiring dude. So stick around because we're going to talk all things Lockie and the UMS and what it's done for him. Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. I'm one of the co-founders of Unity Gym and co-creators of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the reason we get such amazing results with our members is that we've created a program that has a perfect balance between strength and flexibility. Now, if you want to know how we do that, you can download one of the free blueprints, the flexibility blueprint, the strength blueprint, or the nutrition blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Lachlan Heussler, one of our members, one of my students who trains with me in the morning, and our member of the month for February. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, mate, it's my pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
This is a bit legendary for us. I like to get here on the podcast with you guys.
Yeah. For those of you that are in the UMS movement mastermind or the online coaching, you might see Lockie commenting on some of your stuff sometimes, giving you guys some knowledge bombs. Mate, your progress. How long have you been with us now?
So I was having to think about that this morning. I joined coming up on 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just turned 40 and made a decision that, I basically was prioritising my health as my number one thing in my life over everything else. And I'd been going to the gym like on and off for, 20 years like a lot of people, but had followed you guys online, like you'd done a little bit of social, like not as much as you do now, but was inspired by the way that you train and what you were doing and came in because I literally worked around the corner. I came in one day and I remember you pitched me like you still had your mad man bun and ponytail back then and you told me about the story and dropped and did the splits on the ground out the front and I was like, okay, well I'll give it a shot and here I am 4 years later.
Yeah. And mate, you've come leaps and bounds. We normally, we had a bunch of people that were going to give this member of the month to over you, but you got the age award, because you're a little bit older. We thought, well, we should give it to him, because he's such an old guy.
Us old blokes have to try and keep the young guys on their toes, right? So,
I
don't feel 44, put it that way.
Mate, you don't. And there's people on YouTube and Instagram that don't think you look 44 either, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, doing the pancake and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, look, mate, I mean, the reason why, there's many reasons why we choose the member of the month, but it comes down to, consistency. Attendance is a really big thing. We don't give the member of the month to people that aren't turning up consistently. Results, people have to get results. And that is, another one is that people have to demonstrate our core values, our 5 core values, which one of them is to get results. And also... Yeah, demonstrate success, care about the community, you take massive action. And what you've just said is you really do live by our core values. I don't know if you've familiarized yourself with those.
I've seen them on the wall.
Recently, yeah. But, what you just said is a classic example of taking massive action, hitting 40 and thinking, you know what, I'm going to prioritize my health and I'm going to do this. And yeah, man, just watching your results, like for those of you, well, anyone that's watching this probably doesn't know this. You had a really bad back injury a few years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I've had it 2 times. I had a herniated disc about 6 years ago, but then I re-injured it at the start of last year. And I'd been coming to the gym for about 2 years at that point in time, but it was really bad. I remember I was walking one time and you were just like shaking your head going, you poor bastard. But it was to the point that I had this really mad sciatica pain down one side of my leg. And I could feel like a 50-cent piece size thing at the bottom of the ball of my foot. And to the point that I'd toss and turn at night and it'd wake me up and it was bad. Luckily, I found a practitioner who you guys have subsequently used who treats via the Sarah Key method, and Kate Adams down the road here, and she helped me out. But aside from getting help from a practitioner who was helped with my back, it was actually coming in every day, and even when I couldn't train, just essentially rolling around on the floor and doing some level of exercise, because when you do hurt something, and people go through injuries all the time, the worst thing in my view that you can do is stop moving. And just the ability to come in and even if it's just to walk and do some light stretching and that sort of stuff really helped me in terms of getting over that injury. And funnily enough, I prioritised, obviously, I wasn't doing squats or any sort of heavy lifting, but I started focusing on other things. And that was the first time when I had a bad back that I did a muscle up.
Yeah.
Because I prioritised doing upper body strength and things like that. So, and that really surprised me. But
it's cool how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. But what I would say is that the UMS and the way that you guys break it down actually allowed me to train around my injury.
Yeah.
And I can safely say now that I'm the strongest and fittest that I think I can ever remember being, and ever since maybe I was in my early 20s. But I was telling Yanni this morning that I deadlifted 120 kilos. Was doing like sets of 5 reps. I've never done that before, never ever, and I've always been super conscious of it because of the way that I hurt my back. But just taking it slowly and moving through the process, and now I look forward to it because I know that it's actually strengthening my posterior chain and helping me with it.
Yeah, and this is coming from someone who only a couple of years ago couldn't walk properly, and the thought of even lifting an empty barbell would have hurt you.
I steered away from deadlifts for the longest time because I was paranoid that I would hurt myself.
Yeah. I remember that period really well because you were coming in every day and I was teaching the group classes, and I was always giving you these stretches and these things that you could do to try and release the muscles in your QL and your glutes and everything. And you were, that was a really inspiring thing because that's taking massive action. It's this idea of even though you can't come in and partake in the workout that everybody else is doing, you're coming in and doing something for yourself and you're moving forward. And I think that's a really important thing for people to understand is to see, for me to have seen your journey and where you've come from to where you are now, it is that massive action. It's that idea of, I'm going to put this first, and it doesn't matter if I can walk to work, I can walk to the gym, and even if all I can do is lay on the ground on a ball at the gym, I'm going to do it, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But it's also, you touched on it before, the other thing that you need to do as part of this process is to be consistent. And for me now, my alarm goes off at 5:30 every morning and I'm just straight out of bed. Doesn't matter how much of a shit sleep I've had the night before or what I've been doing, I'm out the door and I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, mate, your consistency is second to none.
But that's the thing. And that's what I try and tell some of the younger people and the newer people that are here. And I also enjoy because you're off, there's big classes here and, you're helping some of the other people. And if I have a little bit of a tidbit of information that I can pass across, I do. But it's the main thing I says is just to come every day. Yeah. You need to come every day and train, every day because the program's designed to have this 5-day, and it's not like you come in and do randomized stuff. There is a process, and understanding that process enables you to get one step closer to these goals that you set for yourself every time you come.
Oh man, it's unreal. It's unreal. So I've got a couple of questions here that I want to ask you. The first one is when going back to that, you've just turned 40. What made you decide that you needed to join the gym?
I was looking for something new. I'd, as I said, been going to the gym on and off since I was, in my late teens, early 20s. So I had, a bit of a history with working out. But it was to the point that I was doing the same stupid, muscular strength workout and then going and doing a spin class twice a week, whatever it was. And to be honest, I was totally bored with what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, I'd followed, found you guys online and followed some of the stuff. And coming here and doing it, not only did I want to experience something new, but also the thing that really excited me and made me keep coming back was that it changed every 6 weeks.
Yep.
There was an overarching goal in terms of the mesocycles that we're training for, but then I would get good at something and then you change it.
Yeah.
And that kept me very mentally stimulated.
Yeah.
And I underestimated how much that mental stimulation helps with the physical development.
Yeah,
and
massive,
I didn't you guys sort of taught me about the neural link in terms of how your neural plasticity works and how you actually exercise your brain at the same time that you exercise your muscles, and that was something new that I hadn't really thought about before.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. So second question I've got is what impact do you think it's had on your life and your career since you've joined here?
I'm physically fitter than I have been since I can remember, so that's great. But the secondary impact, and probably the more important one, is how mentally focused I can become now. Mm-hmm. So in the past, where I would be easily distracted and things like that, now I can actually find myself. I feel very clear in terms of my day-to-day life, and I can have a shit night's sleep, but I also feel happy. I mean, I find myself getting a bit sort of frustrated and shitty if I don't actually come to the gym and move around.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's a byproduct of the fact that I train 5 days a week. But I find myself, very mentally aware of what I'm doing, and my mood always feels elevated, which is, I suppose that's a good thing. I don't know.
Oh man,
So,
it is, and I've seen the change in you. It's really cool, really cool. So, Lockie, since joining, what 3 things did you change in your life that you think had the biggest impact?
well, it's the consistency. It's making the commitment to myself that the hour and a half that I come to the gym every day is time for myself. So it doesn't matter what's going on around me, how bad work can be, how bad things are at home, like the kids are running around and being crazy, whatever. That hour and a half is the time that I allocate to myself. And I think I deserve it. I think I deserve to have that time to come in and do that. So that's sort of, been the big thing for me. And just prioritising my health in terms of trying to, I still struggle a bit with what I eat. So I've embraced the 16/8 sort of restricted eating stuff, and I found that that's helped a lot. But I still fight my sugar cravings. Like I've got a pretty bad sweet tooth, and that's the last thing that I want to try and crush. But that's an ongoing thing that I deal with every day. So
that's harder than cocaine or heroin to give up. Is sugar.
It is. It's bad, especially like when it's there all the time. In the office, and you have all the snacks and all that sort of
That's
stuff.
the hard. It's not just what it does to the brain, which they've proven it's more addictive than cocaine and heroin. It's the fact that it's completely socially acceptable, and you can literally walk down on the street in North Sydney and walk 50 metres and buy as much of it as you want for like $5 or $10.
Well, we have
insane.
like at the office, it's just everywhere, right? So fridges full of soft drink and lollies and chocolates and all that sort of stuff. So it's just it is really making that decision just to cut it out. And plus, I want to get rid of the slight man bod that I have. So,
the dad bod.
The dad bod, yeah.
Okay, so next, what has changed for you now, and what improvements or results have you seen?
Oh, for me, the number one thing, I'm obviously stronger, and that's been fantastic in terms of the types of movements that I've unlocked. But the big thing for me is flexibility. I never, ever focused on my flexibility until I came here. And that has been easily the biggest achievement.
It's been massive, because you were not flexible when you started, were you?
No, I could touch my toes and things like that. I wasn't as locked up as some people in terms of their hammies, but for me, it was my hips and my glutes. And for the last 9 months, I've been really training that pancake. And I think 2 weeks ago, I got my nose to the floor for the first time ever. And that was you sort of high-fiving yourself mentally, when that's happening. But the other thing with that is how long it can take to unlock those things, and understanding that you have to be consistent about doing it. And that was the thing that you in particular really preach home to me all the time is don't anticipate these massive gains to happen all the time. It's just come in and be consistent, and then one day your nervous system will just say, okay, you can go into that position. And that's happened a couple of times. I mean, the one that's weakest for me now is the middle splits, and I think I'm going to move on to that, especially training with Matt, who can just crack them out and
it is a weapon, isn't it?
And do the straddle ups with the weights using just his legs. But it's understanding that they will come as long as you keep training it, and that's the most important thing for me is to keep being consistent about that and unlocking that. I mean, plus it's cool to be able to do a handstand push up against the wall, or deadlift 120 kilos. Those things have come, but the flexibility has been the main thing for me.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Now, next question. What do you like best about Unity Gym, the facility and the team?
I like the people here. Obviously, you and Yanni and Richie are fantastic to sort of work with. The people that actually train here are amazing. So it's funny because for the first 2 years I trained at lunchtime, and after that I changed jobs and had to sort of go to a different time slot. So I now train in the mornings, and it's been interesting because I think the crew in the mornings has been fantastic to work with. And not that there's any sort of competitive streaks or things that happen in this gym, but I like to train with people that are at my level or slightly better than me. And in the mornings, I feel that sort of suited me a bit better, and that motivates me to come every day and do what I do. The facilities, I've watched them change over the last 4 years. There's been a ton of change to the actual gym itself, and I think you guys have really refined your product to where you want it to be for the product that you're offering to the market. and it's very, very easy to train here. There's not a huge amount of superfluous equipment that you don't need or you don't know what it's for or whatever it is. Everything that's here has a practical application, and we use it every day when we train here. And the fact that it's local, it doesn't take me too long to get here, is a bonus. It's just around the corner from where I work, which is even better. And the fact that I get to come and banter with you knuckleheads every day. So,
that's always a bonus, isn't it? I mean, the people you train with is, it's the tribe, right? If you've got a good tribe to train with you, you're more motivated and you push yourself more.
And not everybody is extremely, extroverted in terms of the way some people come in and they just want to train and that's what they do. But, every now and again it's, I have to drop some sort of banter into the conversation and give some people a bit of shit about what they're doing. Yeah. And it's just part of working at a gym.
It's either you or me, isn't it?
Well, pretty much. It's pretty much. It's it's either you or me that are giving the shit to the people. But,
it's good, man.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, second last question. What would you say to someone sitting on the fence about not just joining Unity Gym, because we've got a lot of people watching this that are watching from around the world. And guys, if I can see there's questions popping up here, I'm going to get to them in a sec. So if any of you guys have got questions, not just for me or the UMS today, but for Lockie, if anybody has any questions for Lockie, please put them in the comment section and I'll ask them to him in just a minute. We've got about another 10 minutes left in the interview, so get your questions in. So what would you say to someone sitting on the fence about not just joining Unity Gym, but joining the UMS online coaching program?
I mean, we talk about it all the time, but that Nike slogan is the best. It's just do it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
See how it goes. I mean, I know you guys offer fantastic packages to people that want to come and trial it for 28 days in the gym itself or the packages online, but it's literally just have a go.
Yep.
You guys have got so much content out there in the market. There's so much feedback about the programs that you guys offer. I don't know what someone who's sort of on the fence waiting to decide about it need to do other than go online and check you guys out and see the testimonials from people that come to the gym or those that have used the programs online and the benefits that it's had to their lives. So just literally do it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I love it, man. Thank you. And the last one is is there anything else that you'd like to add personally?
No, it's just that I love training here and I mean, as I said, it's the hour and a half that I get to myself once a day for 5 days a week, and I feel so much better as a result of coming here. And it's one thing that I look forward to every day is coming in, and no matter how shit I feel when I wake up and get out in the morning, by the time I leave here, I always feel 1,000 times better than when I did. So,
I'd like to touch on that because I think that's a really important thing not to skip over, especially when you become a parent. Becoming a father. Man, do you have to choose what you're going to do with your time because you just don't have that freedom. Like when you get into a relationship, you lose a lot of the freedom that you had as a single person. This is for a man or a woman, of course, not just a man. But then when you have a child, that just is 10x, But we all, I'm yet to meet somebody that doesn't have a little bit of time to do something for themselves. And I've had to be really specific about, because for me, my hobby back when I was single, I used to love playing video games, and I really enjoyed that. It's something that I've done, my whole life ever since I was a kid. And, after my training's done, after my work's done, I'd wind down and play some video games with some mates, and even having some social drinks on the weekend. And when I found being a father, I couldn't say, listen, I need to commit this much time to work. I'm also going to commit this much time to training. And I also, when I've got some time off, I want to play some video games and hang out with my mates. It just doesn't fly. And
you've got to give up.
You have to give certain things up. Yeah. And I see so many people, what the one thing that they leave for themselves is some time where they can sit on the couch, watch some Netflix and drink some beers or eat some shit food. And I get it. I get why you would do that because, man, do I love doing that as well, or playing a game or watching a movie. But it's something that is not actually, clearly it's not good for your body, but it's adding more stress to your body because you're stressed at work, you're stressed with your, being a parent, all these things. But then the thing that you use for the tiny bit of time you've got for yourself is to sit down and trash your body by staying up later to watch a movie on Netflix and put shit food in your body. And I think it's a really, really valuable thing for people to try to understand that I haven't met somebody yet that doesn't have the time. I've met countless people that choose to do the wrong thing with that little bit of time that they've got.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't you choose that time for yourself to do something that combats the stress that the rest of your life puts you under?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, swap that time from sitting on the couch or doing whatever it is to doing some sort of physical activity, because not only will you feel tangible benefits in terms of your health, but the big thing for me is the mental aspect in terms of how much clearer and things become easier to see and to do, once you have a physical fitness level that allows you to take those sort of opportunities on.
Yeah.
So.
Take the 4-week challenge, guys. If you're sitting on the fence and you're not doing something, join the UMS online coaching for free for 4 weeks, or come and do the 28-day intensive at Unity Gym. See how you feel at the end of it. So let's have a look. We've got a lot of engagement here, so let's see if there's any questions. So Kwok is watching. I'm going to give you a little wave on Facebook, Kwok. Kumaran, one of our members in the morning that trains with you, saying, so used to seeing Lockie in the gym, in gym gear, and would not have guessed he was older than me. Similar story for me as well regarding turning 40 and joining up. Awesome, brother. Steve Kavanagh is saying, hi, Rad, so relevant to me after 2 back operations. Yeah, dude, it is. Man, I can tell you, Steve, Lockie was there. We have had a lot of people in this gym that have had really bad back issues, and for every Lockie, there's honestly about 30 or 40 people that gave up, that didn't get that they can better their situation, and they got
without the need for surgery.
That's right. And they get the bad news from the doctor, the bad news from the radiologist, the bad news from the physio, and you see the look in their face. It's this look of defeat. I'm broken, I'm stuffed. And this is something that we keep drumming home all the time to people, which is, it's the way you frame yourself in your mind. You're not a broken person. That's who you were, but who you are is who you choose to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really awesome. And Steve, yeah, man, like I feel you, brother. I mean, if you follow my story, I've got a history of back problems, and I've overcome them as well without surgery. So Craig, was getting bored with the same old too. Yeah, we can all feel that one. And Steve is saying, what does Lachlan think about the ability to be as consistent at home or by himself without the support of a gym community and you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually, and I guess it's making that promise to yourself. I think it would be slightly harder in the sense that you don't have sort of the banter and the people to bounce off. And, if you are having a bit of a shit time, the guys there. But that said, you guys offer such an amazing online community in terms of the Facebook groups and things that are there. So you can go to those online communities for that support. But, being by yourself or training by yourself at home, but it is making the commitment to yourself, because you are doing something for yourself, and you have to, say, this is for me, and I'm going to commit to doing this, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, or however often you can train. And, if you get to the point where it's all too much or life's getting a bit down, it's being able to go to those online communities and going, oh, hey guys, like I feel a bit shit, this is getting me down. And the amount of times I've seen people post like that in the groups, and then straight away everyone's in there going, hey, like, we've been there too. You'll get through it. Just take that next step and do that next workout. And get back on the horse again.
Yep. So, and I've also got something else that I'd like to add to that, Steve, which is that I find it when you're training by yourself, it's really, really important to put something on the iPod or iTunes or whatever that is motivating for you. And what I mean by that is, we've all got our motivating playlist. That's one thing, but sometimes music doesn't do it for me. And what Yanni and I have found is that they've got these really amazing, motivation mixes on YouTube that we play sometimes. That you've even heard me play them in the gym once or twice. Yeah. And for some people they're really full on, because they are. It is a lot of American presenters talking, and a lot for, at least for Australians, a lot of people find that a little bit too full on. The way that American presenters are on stage and they're so motivating, but we find it really, really inspiring. And if you just put this on and you listen to these people talking about how they've come from nothing, and like people like David Goggins, that Navy SEAL guy, and talking about what they did to get there and the trials and tribulations they had, I've found that has given me an amazing training session on some of the days that I felt totally crap. And what I do on those days where I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, and I've got to train by myself, and I train in the gym when it's empty. So luckily Yanni and Richard and I train together, but there's often days where there's no one else here. So I'm out in that gym and there's tumbleweed blowing around, and that is hard to do. And you just got to put something on. you just put it on and you just start with the warm-up, and then when you finish the warm-up, you start to feel like, oh, wow, there's a little accomplishment. Let's move on to the next thing and the next thing, and before you know it, you're halfway through your workout.
I mean, for me, it'd be thumping electronic music. But
whatever it is. You know, some days I don't feel like those playlists and I just want music, but whatever it is, you know. Quock Newen is saying, morning, lads. Quock, you are going to meet Lockie this weekend. He's going to be at the workshop with you. Quock's one of our regular viewers, and he's coming down for the workshop. We're going to meet him for the first time. Okay. Aidan is saying, hey, boys, sweet video. Appreciate you coming on. Lachlan, was wondering some of the skills you've learnt through the UMS. You mentioned muscle-ups and handstand push-ups, I believe.
Yep. So I've unlocked muscle-ups. Handstand push-ups, that's been pretty fun because I'm pretty strong in my press. The one that I'm really working on now that I think is my goal is a planche.
Yep.
So because I am stronger in my upper
and
body.
He does a kick-ass tuck planche, like I'm talking 30 seconds consistently tuck planche, and probably about a 5 to 8 second advanced tuck planche now you're working on? This is without a band,
Yeah. So the next thing for me is to try and unlock the planche, and if I get that, that'll be amazing because that's a pretty epic movement.
The straddle planche.
And plus, I haven't seen anyone do it in the gym.
And some flexibility goals as well. You know, you've got a nose to floor pancake.
Nose to floor pancake and the middle splits for now for me, because my weakest part of my body is definitely my glutes. So middle splits and the straddle up good mornings is something that I'm focused on training at the moment as well.
Yanni, sitting at the computer over there, has said, what specifically has Lockie done to become so seriously and ridiculously good looking?
Thanks, Yanni. Comments from the cheap seats always.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so look, unless we've got, Lockie does have to go. I was told that I need to keep this short. So Steve is saying, thanks, appreciate the comments. Any chance of a couple of those YouTube links? Great, guys. Honestly, brother, Google motivation on YouTube and just start watching anything that comes up. That's all I did. And what you'll do is there's a couple of if you type, don't Google, go to the YouTube search, type in motivation, and there's channels that have 3, 4, 10 million followers. They're the ones to watch. Like, I can't remember what they're called, but you'll see them because they've got like over 3 or 5 million followers. And honestly, just start watching the videos that they've got there. Anything that has a name next to it that sounds good, you know, you start with the 10-minute ones, the morning motivation or whatever. They're unreal, man. And some of them go for well over half an hour, 40 minutes, and we used to just press play, and you have the feature on YouTube that automatically plays the next video, and we'd just let them play while we're training. So, yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, mate. For those of you that keep an eye out, because this video is going to be edited. So we're going to take out some of the best bits and we're going to put it together with some of Lockie's training, and that's a format that we're going to be doing monthly. So there will be a video, a post-produced video coming out very shortly that we will share to all our channels, YouTube and these Facebook pages, so that you guys can see this interview edited. So we're just getting the best bits of what Lockie had to say, and you can see some of his training and some of his amazing feats.
Cool.
And otherwise, you can go to our Instagram page, and you can see, if you scroll through, you'll see a couple of videos of Lockie doing some pretty cool stuff. Thanks, mate.
All right. See ya.
Have a great day.
Cheers.
Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, that's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.